Hey, before we get started, I just wanted to remind you that I do have an email list if you want to go to residencyhelp.com, where every Friday I send out an email letting you know what podcasts have been published, some things that are going on in the week, and then those freebies. I've got a couple of books. An 18-hour Naplex book is coming out. I'll be giving out some couple hundred free audiobooks there, and then for those of you that will be interviewing for Phase 2, I have Residency Interview Help, an audiobook where I'll have free codes for you as well. So do get on the email list at residencyhelp.com.
Hey, welcome to the Pharmacy Residency Podcast, a member of the Pharmacy Podcast Network. I wanted to go over the rankings and how to do it and give you a little bit of feedback from what happened last year. So let's talk before we get into any algorithm nonsense. And it is goofy, but it will all make sense by the end of this, I promise you. The first thing is, what are the chances that I match with my first choice? And it's really high. If you match, there's a 60% chance that that match was your first choice. And then if you match and you didn't match to your first, but you matched, then there is a 20% chance that you matched with your second. And even if you didn't match with your first or second and you matched, there is a 10% chance that you matched with your third. And then there is about a 5% chance for fourth and fifth. So it is likely that your match was very high. And let's take a second to think about why that is. As you've been doing your applications, I think the first 2 or 3 applications were pretty easy for you. Those are places you really want. Those are places that you've put in a lot of effort, maybe in actually being there, maybe in those places that you have relationships with. And it makes sense that they're going to get that sentiment on the other side as well. That, okay, well, they were with us for a longitudinal APPE, and they have done 2 elective pediatric rotations in addition to some other pediatric work that they've done in their research. And so it becomes very apparent in those first 3, 1, 2, and 3, where you're talking about having 90% of applicants have gotten their first, second, or third match. So that means that in terms of, gaming the system and those types of things, and I'll talk about it in a minute, it's really tough to do. And I'll show you how it can be done, but it would be really, really tough for most people to do this. But anyway, the good news is that if you do match, you're probably going to get one of your favorites. That's 90% of the time you're going to get your first, your second, or your third. And then those who didn't, that's going to be your fourth or then fifth and higher. So over 95% are in their first 4. So let's talk about the algorithm itself. You're going to hear over and over again, it's up to the applicant, and that the applicant is the one who's favored. And what that means is that we start with the applicant's first choice, and then we go to that, and we kind of visit it. So the way to look at it is, okay, if you're the very first one the computer pulls up, it's going to go there and say, oh, there's nobody here, this is your first choice, and there's no one else here, then you get this spot tentatively. And then someone else is going to come along and they're going to say, well, this person was ranked them first also, but now they're going to look at the program's order. And the program puts you second and that other person third. So they're going to tell that person, I'm sorry, we already have someone that put us as their second. So that's second here that we have chosen as our second. And so that you're going to need to go somewhere else. And we're just assuming this place has only one spot. So if you want to find this, you can go to natmatch.com, natmatch.com/ASHP RMP for Residency Match Program /algorithm.html. And it's under the title description of the algorithm, but you have to push the little plus button and then you're going to get this extra paragraph that explains it. But the biggest takeaway is they go down your list 1, 2, 3, 4, and then if someone else comes in that ranked them, it's going to go upward on its list and the program's list and say, okay, well, is this person more preferred than you are? And if no one ever beats the preference that this program had for you, if their number one never applied to them or never ranked them, then you're in. That's it. You're it. So let's look at the 4 common misunderstandings, and I'll try to translate what they have. Again, they have really a lot of detail on there. They have just a single sentence, and then they've got this little plus sign that you can get more order. So the first thing is that there is no arbitrary or subjective assignment, and that means that it's not a lottery. I think that one's pretty straightforward, that they're not just guessing like, okay, well, there are 2 people that want this, and there's a tie. Well, you can't really have a tie, because even if you both rank them first, the program cannot tie. The program doesn't rank 2 people second or third or first. So one of you 2 is going to be preferred. Someone may not even be on there. So if someone was ranked 5th and the other person wasn't ranked by the program at all, the person that was ranked 5th gets it. Okay, so it's not a subjective assignment. It's not a lottery. Second, that if you have some secret information that the program, you got just this great vibe from the program that they're going to rank you first as opposed to somewhere else, that really doesn't help you. Okay, so you want to make sure that your ranking, okay, is going to be based on you wanting that program. And again, it's the applicant's choice that matters, not the other. And they'll never see where you rank them. And I'll talk a little bit about that kind of caveat in a minute. But if an applicant could not match, that you did not match to a program you prefer, doesn't affect your chances with anywhere else. Okay, so if you put Kentucky and Yale and Mayo and Hopkins as 1, 2, 3, and 4, it doesn't affect your chances of getting 5. Okay, so what it's saying is that don't be afraid to put someplace that you really want first. Okay, you shouldn't consider how attracted they are to you. Okay, third, you don't need to know how they ranked you and how you ranked them, sort of. Okay, this is the one caveat that if in terms of getting a residency at all, there may be a little bit of a gap. If you convince, for example, 10 programs that they should rank you first, and 10 programs rank you first, whoever you rank highest of those 10 programs is it. Like, that's who gets you. So although you can't beat the system in terms of your rankings of them, if in some way you were able to get more programs to rank you first, and you can have, all 4,000 programs could rank you first, it could, it's not going to happen, but if they had all ranked you first, you literally have your choice. Okay, and that's really what it's saying. And then the fourth thing is that you can beat the system. Okay, and there is this concern that something was not fair, and they do a good job of explaining it. But the idea is that if you don't put your true preference and you put someplace where you think you'll get it over someplace that you think you would like more, what it does is it ensures that you cannot get the place that you actually wanted more. Okay, so the only way to mess this up is for you to say, well, I'm pretty sure program C is going to pick me as first. So I'm not going to put program A and B ahead of them. I'm going to put C ahead because I think they're going to like me the most. This isn't prom, okay? So anyway, the best ranking or the best thing that you can do is, one, get the most programs to put you as first, and two, to put your true preference first. 60% are going to be matched with their number one, 20% number two, 10% number three, and then 5 and 5 for 4 and 5 and higher. So be true to yourself and you can do the best.
Hey, and if you're interested in learning more about the residency interview process, go to residencyhelp.com or amazon.com or audible.com and pick out 100 strong residency interview questions, answers, and rationales.